we are going to explore one of the richest and most historic parts of London. It's Hampstead. There's the Freemasons' Arms. Ludicrously expensive. You find your way around. Enfield House. It's a real little hidden gem, you know. And to get to Hampstead, I've got to go up this hill. It's the hill that keeps on giving. I've got to go through Belsize Park and then on, up and up until I reach the top of Hampstead. So on the way, we'll see if there's anything interesting we can find. And this is the hill that kicks it all off. Look, here we've got boutique shops already, all the nice stuff. Haverstock Tavern and another great pub up on the left, which I know. There's the beautiful people already. Hello. This is the Richard Steele pub. The Sir Richard Steele pub. I'm getting waves. So the Sir Richard Steele pub is a great pub. I used to drink it now and again. And it's sort of place you can find celebs. You'll definitely find the odd celeb drinking in there once in a while. Who did I meet? Chris Evans. Chris Evans, you remember him, TV presenter, ginger hair, did very well, was on The Big Breakfast originally, and then loads of other stuff, TGI Fridays. And one of the members of the Happy Mondays, I think, was in there as well. But you know, you're going to see all sorts in this pub if you come. Get yourself down to the Richard Steele, go star spotting, you never know. Right, let's carry on up the hill. Phew. Bloody hell. Jeez, like. So way back down the bottom of the hill behind me is Chalk Farm and Camden. We're just coming into an area called Belsize Park, which again is another lovely area, just at the base of Hampstead. Really popular with, you know, your well-off people, I guess. It's a lovely spot, and this is like a little high street of its own just here. So let's have a quick look at that on the way up. So all these areas we're going to be in today are prime hotspots for stars and celebrities. So you never know, keep your eye out, we might just bump into someone. We've got to stop already. This is Roslyn Hill, and this is George Martin's famous Air Studios, where quite a few albums were made, and I think it has something to do with Jim Henson of the Muppets fame as well. Not quite sure what the ins and outs of it. Just giving you an overview. So this old church was long ago turned into a very famous recording studio, which I, for one, would be fascinated to see what it looks like inside, but I don't suppose that's going to happen. Right, well, it feels like we barely left Belsize Park and we're only halfway up the hill to Hampstead. We're going to turn off already because down this direction is a sort of lower Hampstead, if you like. It's like a little separate satellite part of Hampstead in a way. So we'll nip down there, give you a look what that looks like before we move on to Hampstead proper. Right, we're flying down Pond Street, the hill down into the lower part of Hampstead, and on the right here you will see the massive Royal Free Hospital, which I've been in a couple of times, a few times in fact, for various ailments over the years when I lived in the area. And then down here we enter the bottom part of Hampstead, and keep my eyeballs open, can I do this? Yes. So this is like a separate little bit of Hampstead in a way. So we'll have a little look around this before we head off up the hill. We've got a famous pub here called the Garden Gate. Anybody in the area knows the Garden Gate. And this is where all the beautiful people hang out having their coffee and sandwiches and things in the morning. And here is Hampstead Heath train station and tube station. So that's Hampstead Heath tube station. And up beyond that, it's like a ring of houses that sort of border on the heath itself, because you've got immediate access to Hampstead Heath and beyond that direction. It's quite amazing the difference you notice when you get here in the people and the dress code. All the beautiful people are out. It feels really lovely. It's really sort of, especially on a sunny day like this, it's fantastic. Everybody's well dressed, well groomed and well mannered. It's a lovely spot, in fairness. So this here on the right, this is more or less the start of Hampstead Heath, and we're going to go there later. Too early in the ride for that today. You'll often hear of Hampstead as being referred to as like a village within London, and it does have that sort of villagey feel, and what they mean by that is the community sort of feel that village is supposed to have, and sort of village style houses in a way like this, I guess. These lovely places. Not that many villages would look quite like this, but you know, it's got that sort of villagey feel. So here again on the edges of the heath itself, you've got one of the few car parks that border onto it, and the park run actually starts from here, the 5k park run on a Saturday morning. That reminds me, so today we are likely to come across quite a lot of fancy cars and big houses, so also keep your eyes peeled for that sort of thing. I'll probably just ignore a lot of them because, you know, I see them all the time, quite honestly, but you might spot a few Aston Martins, Ferraris, who knows what, you never know. Let's see what we can find on the way. Hampstead is completely filled with beautiful historic old buildings and great pubs. Now, one of the best pubs in the area, apart from the Garden Gate, which is just down there, is the one just here, whose name escapes me and whose my eyes fail me. I can't quite see the name. I'll have to go there and have a look. I'll tell you when we get there. Okay, there's a Bentley. Let's start with that. And this pub with a great big garden on it next to the heath, the Freemasons Arms, of course. I should have known. I have been in there. Ludicrously expensive, but very, very nice, I have to say. There's the Freemasons Arms. Fair enough. Looks nice anyway as churches go. What do you think? Just giving you a quick look at some of these properties on the way up. It's a mansion block here, a bit like what we've seen in Maida Vale, I guess. Ah, right. So Hampstead has some of the highest concentration of blue plaques on the front of buildings in all of London. And I've just gone past one right now I've never really seen before. I've just seen one there for Jim Henson, creator of the Muppets, which is incredible. I mean, who would have thought? I would have thought he was American. I didn't know. So he had some connection with the Air Studios we were at just down the road a minute ago. Jim Henson of the Muppets fame. Oh, well, this is our hill going back up to Hampstead. We're nearly there, actually. It's just there, you can see it. But I think what I'll do, as we're exploring, let's go straight across and just have a little look on the side streets, as we sometimes do, and see if there's anything interesting out this way. Huge, great houses. Of course, like all of London, many of these will be flats, but many of them will also be individual properties. Wow, wow, wow. What a place. This is spectacular. Now, I don't know a lot about these cars, but I have just seen a little bit of the new Grand Tour episode. And I do know that Clarkson loves a Lancia. And to me, that looks like a Lancia. Have I got it wrong? That might be a Maserati. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Is that a classic Maserati? I think it probably is. I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me what this beauty is. It is immaculate. It's somewhere around here that one of the Gallagher brothers owned a place, and maybe still does. And don't ask me which one. I'm not up on my Oasis stuff. But it could be Noel or it could be Liam. Basically one of those two. I feel like it's Noel. The maybe slightly more sensible one. Is that possible? Right. Back down to our hill. This makes sense because this is Air Studios again. Jim Henson's old gaff. Jim Munson's a guy I know. He's not a Muppet. Might be. Oh, I'm going through a red light and bollocks to it. Right. Oh, I'm having a laugh today. It's good to be back. So this is the famous snappy snaps that George Michael famously crashed into once after having one or two too many. Hampstead, of course, is an area completely associated with the arts and artistic types and actors, musicians and all of that. So it's a very creative area, really. Right, this will bring us back out onto our hill. How many times am I going to do this hill? Right, again, back up the hill, past the bakery and the delicatessen, and all the lovely independent shops where all the local people do all their lovely shopping, buying things for twice the price that you and I might buy them. That's okay. To them, it's the equivalent. I suppose they're spending what's normal for them, we spend what's normal for us. It's just how it is. I say us, you might be in a completely different ballgame to me, a different league. Into the shopping part of Hampstead, where we have all these lovely shops, obviously Planet Organic. Now that is a nice shop. So this is the village centre, really. Stop and have a quick look by this Bentley. Why not? What am I doing as a chauffeur? This is kind of the centre of Hampstead, I guess. We've got a Bentley over my shoulder and a chauffeur for whoever he's waiting for. And then, as I was saying, we got all the independent shops here, plenty of high street stuff. And this is the spot where, maybe not so much on a Saturday, but maybe in the week you might get your odd celeb kicking around, you know, having a coffee on the street somewhere. Or possibly tucked away in the back streets, who knows. Anyway, let's go and explore a bit more of Hampstead, because it's a fascinating old place. If you've seen some of the other videos, you'll know that I used to live down there in Kentish Town. That was only like a 10-minute walk from here. And very often on the weekend, or at some point with some free time, we'd just walk around and we'd do different walks in the area. And this was one of them. We'd come up here and go exploring. This is a very well-known crepe. It's a creperie. And there's always queues outside that crepe stand. It's been there forever. Anyway, you want to see this, not me. We are doing much less of a Scuzzy trip today. It's much more of a upmarket travel show today. So if you're thinking of coming here on holiday to London and you want somewhere to visit, well, Hampstead, yeah, you can put that on your list. Skip Harlesden, come to Hampstead perhaps. Now, I want to turn off somewhere in a sec. I'm sure I'm pissing all the cars off by doing this, so I'm just going to pull over. And that's kind of like the main crossroads, and we're going up there in a second. But first I want to go down here. I'm probably going to get off for that one. I know it upsets some of you when I ride on the pavement, so I'll give that a miss and I'll walk down Flask Lane, because it's a bit of a classic. In fairness, this would be a bit tight on the bike, I suppose, so I'm better off pushing it. If you want to get your nice antiques, this is the place. Makes me think of a time when I came here with a friend and we found a concrete cat. Glad to see Henry Higgins is still going. I occasionally had my hair cut there once. Obviously that doesn't happen very often. On our tour of pubs in the area, this is clearly one of the best. The Flask on Flask Walk. There it is. It's got a nice little garden at the back. But yeah, it's a bit of a classic, it's well known. There's another Flask pub. That's over the other side, over in probably Highgate way. So this is Flask Walk. A great little spot. And it's really sort of, I don't know, it really takes you back. It's like it almost hasn't changed in 100 years or more. This is probably one of those little tucked away, really fancy restaurants. Little bistro. So I've walked this way a few times in the past, and this is a really nice little villagey spot. Very tucked away, but close to the high street. Of course, if you're going to live here, you're going to have to get used to going up and down hills, either on a bike or on foot. Hampstead's got so many little wiggly streets that you just keep wanting to turn off and go to different ways. I had this route planned in my head, but it's not working out that way. I can still remember a Sunday lunch that I had in this pub from about 15 years ago. It was that good. Seriously, the Wells Tavern. I used to be well off back in the day or something. What changed? What happened? Up another hill, I think. This one, Christchurch Hill. Let's get up here. We've skipped the main bit of Hampstead, so I'm gonna have to go back down to that and then go back up another hill. Well, that's all right. I I got wheels. Oh, it's a good one too. Goes all the way up. No, come on, Jay, stick to the plan. Keep going up the hill. So if you're visiting from America or somewhere and you want to see Hampstead properly, just be warned, when you get off the tube station, you're going to be walking a lot of hills. There you go, down another gear. So I got 4 left. Oh, reminds me of Swansea. And definitely not from a financial side, but from a hilly side. Getting flashbacks to Dylan Thomas. Go through the no entry. It's tradition. Oh, look, an alley. Oh, where are we? Alleys. Oh, look at this. Yes. No. No. We're back on the hill, a different part of the hill. We're really mixed up now, but I know where we are, but we're a bit jumbled up. We're almost at the very top. So I might as well carry on to the very top and then come back down into Hampstead. That means I'm going to have to go back up to the very top. But that's all right. That's how it works when you're doing these things. You go out, you get yourself lost, you find your way around, and you find out where you're going again. Start again. Simple as that. So this is just about the very top of Hampstead. And there's a little something up here we're going to have a quick look at before we go back down and explore a bit more. Okay, well just over there we've got a pond. And we've got a nice old Land Rover Defender. Well, that's another story. It says here, the pond, situated at 135 metres above the London Basin. Whitestone Pond is located at the summit of Hampstead Heath and marks the highest point in London. So there you go, we're now at the highest point overlooking all of London. Can't see it much from here, but we might see some of it on our way back down. These ponds are also known as the Horse Pond. So I guess people would bring their horses and let them drink here at times. And one such famous character might be a chap by the name of Dick Turpin, because he is famously associated with the area for the pub down the road called the Spaniards. And the Spaniards is just that way, which you probably won't go to today. But Dick Turpin was known, supposedly, to associate there after his nefarious episodes on Hampstead Heath, which is all down that direction. He's also associated with a pub not far from where I live, funnily enough, which is just as old. Look at this, I'm going to try not to scare him off, but right here at the top of Hampstead, right in the middle of London, you got a heron fishing in the Horse Pond, or Whitestone Pond. He's a bit nervous of me, so I'm going to try and keep my distance and go very slow. Maybe he'll stay there. And a bit of wildlife right here in the middle of London. How cool is that? It's a cool car, man. He knows it. So this is the pond, Whitestone Pond, or the horse drinking pond. I got a lot of flack from people last time for riding on the pavement and stuff like that. Well, you know, we're not doing a cycling video here. We're not doing how to ride a bike on the roads, okay? We're exploring. See through all that crap. We're here to see what's out there. What's out there in the streets and what we can find and what we can see. It's not about how to ride and pull up at junctions and turn left and look left and right. I do have plans to do something like that, which is like how I stay alive, how I have never had almost not a single accident in 20-something years of riding bikes in London. There must be something in it. It's funny, I read about this place just the other day. I never knew it existed. It's in a little sort of hidden away part of the top of Hampstead, the very top here. This is the Hampstead Astronomical Society, that's right, or Hampstead Scientific Society, the Astronomical Observatory. It's quite a mouthful for people like me, but apparently it's open to the public. You can book time to go in there. Look at this old Saab. Can you get past me? What a great car. See, I told you we'd see some classic cars today. So if you're in London and you want somewhere to stare at the stars or catch some astronomical events, this could be your place.